Oh, are you okay? Good morning?
What do you mean? That it's a good morning or that the morning is good?
The world may never know! All of the above.
Beautiful smoke rings.
Thank you.
I'm looking for someone to share an adventure with, but I can't find anyone around here.
Oh yeah, none of us do adventures. That's not our thing. No, not at all. I'm afraid I don't know your name.
I'm Gandalf, and Gandalf means me.
Oh, you're the one who made those wonderful fireworks that old Took used on Midsummer's Eve.
I'm glad someone finally remembers something about me.
Yes.
Well, I'll give you what you asked for and take you so far in this wonderful adventure.
No, I don't do journeys or anything dangerous, but you should definitely come over for tea, maybe tomorrow at noon? Okay. Oh, Gandalf must be here for tea.
Excuse me, down here.
Oh.
Walnut at your service.
Fallen at your service.
Bilbo at your service.
Please come in.
Don't mind me.
Oh.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust.
Character traits for Thorin. One of Thorin's most prominent character traits is his arrogance. This is shown many times throughout the story. One example of his arrogance is when the group gathers to discuss the quest. As Thorin states the facts of the quest, he mentions that the gold will be found in Smaug's lair. He informs Bilbo and the others that the gold is his and his only. This supports the idea that he is a very arrogant character because he refused to share the rewards of the deadly quest with the rest of the group, despite the fact that they willingly traveled on this dangerous quest with him. With the amount of gold the group found in the mountain, Thorin could have given everyone more than their fair share of gold. Another example of his arrogance is when he again refuses to give the Lakemen the money that was stolen from them by Smaug. Instead, he holds himself up inside the mountain and even goes so far to call upon his brother to wage war against the people who lived by the lake, all because he believed that the gold belonged to only him. This supports why he is an arrogant person because by refusing to give the Lakemen the money they deserved, he instead waged war against them, which inevitably led to his death. It also led to the death of many other dwarves such as Fili and Kili. If he hadn't been so arrogant and just handed the money over, he and the others may have kept their lives. Another very recognizable character trait of Thorin is his stubbornness. This is shown many times throughout the story as he often takes charge or refuses to do something. One example of this is when Smaug has finally been defeated and he had regained his rightful throne. When the Lakemen come to ask him for money that was stolen from them by Smaug, he sends them away. Every time they come around to bring him to reconsider, he says no and turns them away. It gets to the point where he barricades himself within the castle along with the other dwarves. Then he goes and asks one of his distant cousins to help him win in the upcoming war against the Lake people. In the end, it's all for nothing because many people lose their lives and there's a whole lot of unnecessary death everywhere. This supports the idea that Thorin is a stubborn person because of his adamant refusal to give the Lake people anything. It ends up leading to his own demise along with countless others, even though they all could have been spared if Thorin had just given the people what Smaug owed them. Another example that supports the idea that Thorin is a stubborn character is when he refuses to leave his cell in the Elven King's prison. For unknown reasons, he refuses to leave the cell when Bilbo comes to get him, despite the fact that Bilbo risked his life to get the keys that freed him. This supports why Thorin is a stubborn character because he almost got Bilbo, along with everyone else, caught and killed because he wouldn't leave his cell when they came to rescue him. Character traits for Bilbo Baggins. Clever. Bilbo was clever because many times throughout the book he used his ring that made him disappear to escape danger. He also used his brain and clever ideas to repeatedly get the dwarves out of trouble with the danger they encountered. For example, when he was in the cave along with Gollum, he used his magic ring not only to get past Gollum, but also the hungry human-eating goblins. Bilbo's cleverness and bright mind got him, the dwarves, and Gandalf past all of the dangerous obstacles they encountered throughout the journey. Brave. At the beginning of the book, Bilbo was a shy, timid boy, but while going on the journey, he prospered into a brave man. He showed bravery when he confronted Smaug and saved the dwarves from the goblins and spiders. This bravery came from the confidence that Gandalf gave him. The words gave Bilbo some hope that he could do anything he puts his mind to. Being brave made Bilbo get over his fears and not to be afraid to stand up to all the creatures he encountered. His bravery helped get the dwarves and Gandalf their fortune that they wanted. Courageous. Bilbo had the courage to defeat his enemies, which was the reason he came so far on the journey. Bilbo had shown courage when he saved the dwarves from danger because he put himself before them. He showed many courageous acts throughout the book, but one thing that stood out was when he faced Smaug by himself. This was important because he had no idea what he was up against, but still, he didn't want the dwarves to be in danger. So, he decided to go alone to the Lonely Mountains. The courage that he was lacking at the beginning made him stronger at the end, and he had become more of a thoughtful and genuine person. His courageous acts were greatly appreciated by the dwarves, and he had learned that it doesn't take much to show some courage. You just have to believe in yourself.
Of course I don't want to go on my French ball.
Listen! Let's see if everyone's here. Biffer, Bomber, Thorin, and our newest member, Bilbo. Alright, let's get started. Is this tea or red wine?
It's tea.
Can I have red wine?
Ooh, can I have some cookies?
Oh, where's the cookies?
Yeah,
What's next?
Nature Valley.
Oh yeah, break some ale for me. Oh,
Oyster crackers!
Don't forget bring everything, please. Here you go.
Alright! This is gonna be a long, hard, ferocious journey. I am getting all the money, none of you peasants get any. So, the thing is, some of you might not make it back. But please welcome our newest member, Bilbo, back. Hello.
what if he's not up to it?
What if he's an imposter? What if he doesn't even want to go on a journey?
I picked the 14th person. If you want to have 13, then we will have bad luck. Complain, then go back to the coal mining. Anyway, here is the map of our journey.
Character traits for Gandalf. Gandalf is powerful because he can get the dwarves to listen to him anytime he talks. He gets the dwarves to do what he tells them to do on the journey. Gandalf gives them directions on every task that they need to accomplish before they get to the mountain, and the dwarves follow his directions. The dwarves respect Gandalf because of all the powerful things that he has done to help them on the journey. Another trait that describes Gandalf is optimistic, because he is always telling Bilbo and the dwarves that the adventure is going to go as planned. He constantly tells them that the way that he planned the journey is working and that they should reach the mountain in no time with no injuries at all. Gandalf reassures Bilbo that he made the correct decision to come along the journey and he will make it home. The final trait that describes Gandalf is responsible because he is in control of the dwarves and Bilbo during the journey. He takes care of them and guides them so they can safely reach the mountain to receive the luxurious treasure. He handles all of the mishaps that they have along the journey. When he tells the dwarves and Bilbo that he is leaving them, they are very disappointed because he has been very helpful and protective over them.
Alright, here is Bilbo's house. We will cut through this forest, cross the river, and you'll see there is a vicious, dangerous Smaug. We will then avoid him, go around, go up here, cross, and we will enter the Lonely Mountains. There is an entrance about 5 feet tall and 3 feet wide.
I'm gonna stop you there. Some of us have gained some weight over the years and might not be able to fit. So,
We'll make an arrangement. All right. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it?
Sounds like a plan.
Character traits for Golem. Selfish. Golem is one of the most selfish characters in this book, next to Smaug. Golem doesn't even seem to know the word you or anything other than my precious and we in the terms of other people. When Gollum met Bilbo, he said everything in third person. He seems to want whatever he can get his hands on. Lonely. Gollum is left alone because of his greedy and unpleasant personality. He talks to himself, which must mean he wants someone else to talk to. He has made up this alternate personality so he won't be so lonely. When Gollum and Bilbo meet, you can hear Gollum referring to himself as we. External conflict. Bilbo Baggins is externally conflicted when he figures out that Thorin does not like him. When Gandalf introduced Bilbo to Thorin, he was disappointed at what he saw. Bilbo talked as nice as he could to Thorin. He asked him questions about his journeys and constantly tried to get him to like him. Thorin questioned why Gandalf had chosen him for the adventure. Bilbo felt guilty, almost as if he has done something to Thorin before. Bilbo has thoughts about what he can do to get him to see that Bilbo will be a big help on the adventure. Towards the end of the journey, Thorin warms up to Bilbo and sees that once you give him a chance, he is a really nice guy. Another example of external conflict is when Bilbo is against the spiders that trap them in the webs. Bilbo fights the spiders as he tries to free the rest of the dwarves from the webs that sway from the trees. Bilbo thinks of ways to free the dwarves, but then he remembers that he has possession over the ring. He slips the ring on his finger, and he vanished. As he is invisible, he directs the dwarves on how to move ever so slightly so you can get them down from the trees. As Bilbo gets the 12th dwarf down, they suddenly run as fast as they can to escape all of the deadly spiders.
Everyone put their horses over here on the safe spot, please. Sheely Keely, work on the tents, and the rest start with the fire.
I got the tents.
Oh my god, I went to this troll cafe and it was like horrible service. They asked if I wanted sardines on my French bagel.
Oh my god, sardines? That's like so last year.
No!
I usually put some roast mutton on mine and sprinkle it with some toe.
Maybe
hair.
like a rabbit occasionally.
Yeah, rabbits, yeah. And then I kind of like sometimes I'll shave the hair off of them and I'll boil it and I'll use it as a seasoning. Oh, I smell something delicious.
That smells good.
Oh, look at those horses.
Let's go get some munchies.
Shh, be careful, be careful. Okay, hurry along, horsey. Come on.
Which one should we eat first?
I think I want to do the big one. I really like his fur.
I mean, I think we could start off as like a little snack.
Oh,
like
I
a small
agree.
one, and like an appetizer type thing, and then
Uh-huh.
like we could work our way up to the big course.
Oh, yes. This one is very flawless.
Guys, they stole our horses. Wake up. Go back to Oh my gosh, they stole our horses.
So do you think we should boil them or do you think we should fry them?
We need to get them back.
How does something hot? I feel like they would be better boiled.
Are they boiled?
I think so.
We should roast them. Tie him against the tree. Tie her against the tree.
Yeah!
Did you know they have earworms?
Ew! This reminds me of that troll cafe I went to.
Oh, and they have toe fungus.
Disgusting. You guys are gross.
Why are you guys so nasty?
Ew.
Wait, they don't have toe fungus.
Shut up.
I don't know who to believe right now. I'm kind of socially confused.
Why would you say this? Like, I'm so confused.
I don't get this. Toe fungus? Who has toe
And they
fungus?
have hairy arms.
I don't think I want to eat them anymore.
Wait, what if we fried them and like the hair burned off?
Oh, we could do that. We
What
could
about the
shave them with their
fungus?
sword. Just kind of like
Just chop out the moldy parts.
a little like
Oh,
trim off.
Oh,
there.
Shut up, you.
A
No,
little
shut it.
trim.
No,
How do you work part?
A little trim off there.
Good,
And
thanks.
a little trim
Oh,
there.
Let there be light!
What are you doing?
Shelter.
I'm cold.
I'm getting so wet. We need to find a shelter so we can use a fire.
My clothes are soggy.
It's so hard to run with the wind.
Oh, so busy.
I found a cave.
Really? You did?
Internal conflict. Bilbo Baggins had internal conflict when he faced the decision of going on the quest with the dwarves and Gandalf or turning down the offer. He was a homely hobbit with no experience or desire for adventure. He thought day after day what the right decision was. The dwarves and Gandalf came over for a meal and tried to persuade Bilbo to come with them. Bilbo thought of good things that the journey had to offer, but he was second-guessing because he had to realize how everything could go wrong. He finally came up with the decision that he would accompany the dwarves and Gandalf on the adventure. Gandalf and the dwarves were excited that they had their 13th and final member that they needed for their adventure. Bilbo was feeling better after he made the decision. He was nervous yet excited for the adventure. The next example of internal conflict is when Bilbo is in possession of the magical ring. Once Gollum drops it, Bilbo confusedly picks it up, wondering what it was. He slipped the ring onto his finger, and poof, he is now invisible. Bilbo Baggins is worried because he does not know what to do with this crazy ring. He constantly wonders if he should tell someone about it or keep this little secret to himself. Until he makes his decision, he will use the ring to his advantage by sneaking past dangerous creatures on their mystical journey to the mountain.
Ooh. Wow, we gotta check if this cave is safe.
Goodness.
Seems good.
Yeah.
Everyone squeeze in, squeeze in. We gotta dry our clothes. Finally, we're out of the rain. Here, put it in the middle.
Do you hear that?
What? Oh no, what is that?
No.
What is that?
Oh, like, where'd the light go?
Where's the light?
Guys, I can't see anything.
Someone just touched my foot! No!
Essential question. Is control good or bad? Control is bad. It often hurts people more than it aids them. Control over others is what often leads to war and conflict. One example of the idea that control over others is bad would be when Smaug ruled over the people who lived next to the mountain. He was constantly harassing them and stealing their crop in order to scare everyone into obeying him. This proves that control is bad because it shows that Smaug was a tyrant and the lake people constantly lived in fear of him. Another example of the idea that control is bad is when Thorin brings war upon himself and not only the others, but the dwarves and the lake men too. He believed that he can do what he wanted because he was king and had a huge amount of treasure. This proves that control is bad because the war cost many innocent people their lives, all because Thorin refused to give the people what they deserved since he believed that he was more powerful than them. One last example that proves control is bad is when Gandalf and the dwarves come to take Bilbo on the quest with them. They all showed up at his house and acted like they owned the place, demanding food from Bilbo and making a mess of his house. This supports control being bad because everyone completely trashed Bilbo's house just because Gandalf decided he was the last member required for their mission. They didn't bother to ask Bilbo if everything was okay with him. They just went ahead and did it anyways. All because Gandalf used his power and control over others to tell the dwarves that Bilbo was the person they wanted. No one ever bothered to ask Bilbo what he wanted.
I can't even see his face.
Wow!
What do we have here?
Some itty little bitty baby dwarves. Oh. So, I think I'm going to serve you guys as an appetizer because your size is a little small for my
Excuse
mouth.
me, we are main courses.
Oh, so now you admit that you're fat?
Well,
Who you calling fat?
can we make a deal?
Excuse me!
When was the last time you looked in the mirror?
I feel extremely disrespected.
Excuse me. Can we make a deal? We leave and you get nothing?
Sounds like plan. Yeah.
Yes, no, that's not gonna work with me. I work very hard to get this shape. So, I'm either going to skin you, boil you, or just cut you up into little pieces.
Why don't you just sit on us? Neither.
Yes, I could sit on you and make you into a stew. That would be pretty delicious, actually. I think about it. But
Stop giving him ideas.
enough chit chat! All of you will die!
I don't want to.
No!
Gandalf has arrived! Run, dwarves, run!
We almost got him.
He's dead! Run!
Theme. The theme of The Hobbit is to not be afraid to be a hero. A hero is someone who puts others before themselves. They're selfless and will do anything in their power to do what's right. Bilbo Baggins exhibited all of these traits. Throughout the book, Bilbo develops into a strong, loyal, and independent person and portrays a hero. At the beginning of the story, Bilbo is timid and comfortable in his secure little hobbit hole. That all changes when Gandalf asks Bilbo if he would like to go on a journey with him and the dwarves. At first, Bilbo was frightened because he didn't like the idea of leaving his cozy home to go on a dangerous adventure with the dwarves who didn't even believe in him. As the journey progressed, Bilbo was often in the face of danger and continued to get stronger the more he saved the dwarves from danger. When Bilbo encounters Gollum, he finds a ring that helps him throughout all of the journey because it allowed him to hide from the creatures. The dwarves often doubted Bilbo and thought he was small, a clumsy hobbit who was no use to them, but he proved them wrong in the end. They shouldn't have underestimated him because Bilbo was the true hero. While he was saving their lives, all of the dwarves were putting themselves in danger, and Bilbo had to sacrifice his life to get them out of it. For example, he was the one who confronted Smaug as well as the spiders in Mirkwood because he cared about the well-beings of the dwarves even when they didn't treat him equally. The author wanted to teach the readers that heroism comes in all shapes and sizes, and anyone can be a hero. They just have to be given the chance. Gandalf never stopped believing in Bilbo, and because of that, he gained confidence and wasn't afraid to use his abilities and power to the fullest. Bilbo's heroic acts allowed everyone to get their fortune at the end of the journey.
What is that? Ooh, is it juicy? Is it delicious?
Where am I?
I'm gonna go get some fish. Come here, fish!
What is it? Is it delicious? Is it juicy?
No, I'm just Bilbo Baggins. What kind of game are you trying to play?
Games? Baggins just wants to play games?
Fine, let's do a riddle. Let's make a deal. If you guess my riddle, then you get to eat me. But if I guess yours and win, then you get to show me the way out of here.
Is he trying to trick us, Precious? No, of course not. Baggins just wants to play games. Deal.
Okay, fine.
This thing, all things devours, birds, beasts, trees, flowers, gnaws iron, bites steel, grinds hard stones to meal, slays kings, ruins towns, beats big mountains to the ground.
Oh, I know this one. It's in the back of my mind. I know it. Oh, it's time.
Dang it! Baggins' turn.
Okay, fine. What's in my pocket?
What? That's not fair!
It's a riddle.
3 guesses.
Fine. 3 guesses it is.
Hanses.
Nope. Try again.
Coins?
Nope. Only one more guess and I win.
Think, Precious. String or nothing at all.
Nope. Well, I guess I won. You get to show me the way out.
But what's in Baggins' pocket?
I guess we'll never know.
You stole it!
Stole what?
Thief! Thief!
Make sure we're quiet, or else Smog's going to hear us.
We don't want that to happen.
I see his tail.
No! Do not pass! Fight! 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 Please, no! Die! Die! We will not do this. No!
Critical review, positive. When events happened in this book, they were exhilarating and very stimulating. For instance, when they were taking a break in the cave, out of nowhere, goblins were capturing them. This book always had something new on each page, often unexpected. The book also promotes teamwork and compatibility with others. When chaos, blame, and mistakes were being made, it was soon transferred into forgiveness. For example, when they were fighting the spiders in Mirkwood, they all worked together to survive and escape. Critical review, negative. Even though this book had many positive traits, there were also some negative. At times, the writing was considerably hard to understand. There were also quite few long, uneventful parts where they weren't doing much on their journey. For example, when the dwarves were traveling from place to place, nothing exciting happened, which made it less entertaining. It was a good storyline, but the plot was a little bit hard to follow at times because of the way it jumps from event to event.